back, ladies and gentlemen, across our beloved Kyber Empire to a video I'm looking forward to doing with you guys. Last year, we kind of started this little tradition where at the end of the year, once the final thing came out in Galaxy Series, I'd like to kind of sit back and just say, all right, let's take a look at these things now that we had pretty much a full year of review. Where do all the new characters and ships of 2022 sit in my personal rankings? We had 27 new characters, ships, legendaries, galactic legends come to Galaxy Heroes this year, which are amazing. Which ones would I pass? Which one do I grind my teeth having to build up? Well, we're going to talk about that today, and I'll leave a link down below. If you want to go rank these as well with me, feel free to do so. Hit that like button so I know you want to do this again for 2023. Let's get this party started! Can you feel the holiday magic in the air, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let me tell you, Raid Shadow Legends does this well. Yeah, it's the game that has literally hundreds of champions to collect and one of the biggest mobile games of all time. They're doing 12 days of Christmas giveaways where you can win in-game and real-life prizes like Amazon gift cards worth over $1,000. From December 19th to January 10th, new players need to copy their player ID and go to 12 days of raid.plarium.com. And if you're an existing player in Raid, go to that website to find a special holiday promo code. You can get the exclusive Ronda Rousey champion, and you just gotta log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February 20th. And if you type in the special promo code Raid Ronda, new and existing players get a bunch of free helpful stuff. So click on my link or scan my QR code and you'll get rewards worth over $30. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here. These rewards are only available for the next 30 days. Let's start this off in chronological order. Technically, Boba Fett SoJ was announced and released sort of in game in 2021, but we didn't unlock him until the beginning of 2022. Oh, Boba. I feel bad for this guy, man. Let me just put it this way. When he first came out, Omicrons are kind of new, and it was kind of sold like a galactic legend of territory wars. I think the biggest thing is this. Is he a bad character? No. The problem is the bounty hunters are so good. There's a lot of really amazing cooks in the kitchen. And the thing is about Boba, the stuff he can do, you can kind of do for the same amount of power with the other things in the game already, the other bounty hunters. And the fact that he was a conquest character, definitely one of the biggest letdowns, I think. And honestly, this is going to be the first pass. I haven't used Boba Fett SoJ for months now. It just literally sits there. Waste of Omicrons. My guild doesn't use them. I don't use them in Grand Arena. You can pass out on Boba Fett. I feel like the game is still the same with or without him. But the real first new character to be announced and released in 2022 was really Iden Versio. CG keeping to the motto. They started kind of at the tail end of 2021 where they're releasing these one-banger characters that would revive a really dead faction or non-existent faction. Iden Versio, her job was to elevate the leftover Imperial troopers that Veers wasn't using. And my theory is that this character was going to be required for Star Killer, and then maybe the Axon decided to keep it at 4. I kind of wish this character was required, so people were forced to get her. So this is a tough one. She is great. She forms a very solid top-tier team. Not needed for a legendary, though, and you kind of need to get the other troopers, but she can make leftover troopers pretty useful even at low gear. You know, man, I'm probably going to get burnt for this. I'm putting her in the good category. If she was required for something, I'd put her in amazing. I don't really have a mathematical breakdown for doing this, but my gut says she was good. And here we go. We start our Inquisitor journey. Ladies and gentlemen, please hop on aboard. Show me your ticket. All right, come on down. We have a lot of Inquisitors that we gotta talk about. So I first want to say the Inquisitors, they were truly a faction designed around Datacrons, I feel like. With Datacrons, they can do some good stuff. Individually, they're pretty garbage, except for a few of them that I really like. Good thing about Second Sister, as we're gonna talk about later, she did eventually get a ship. By herself, without the Inquisitors or Datacron ships, I wasn't quite a fan of her. I'm putting her in the reluctant farm category. However, not all the Inquisitors were bad individually. Ninth Sister was the next Inquisitor to come, and this one I was definitely a bigger fan of, mainly because she's a thick girl that's plug and play viable in a lot of different Imperial lineups. Very durable, AoE days, A lot of very solid things a part of her kit. I think honestly she probably is the best Inquisitor to come. You could use in a variety of situations. Not quite amazing like Iden, but definitely a viable tank for a lot of Imperial lineups. We had the MG100 and TIE Echelon. MG100, man, gosh. Did it make the Hondo fleet better? Sort of, but in another sense, it made it worse because this ship can't get foresight. Foresight's important for the Hondo fleet. So in a way, you're probably taking a little bit longer to get to that ultimate, which is why people kind of like myself put this into reinforcements. So that way you're not delaying the opening movement with getting the foresight. Oh boy, this is probably going to drive people crazy right here. I'm going to put it in the pass. It's not really needed for any sort of special farm. I don't really think it elevated Holdo's fleet that much. However, I feel bad for the MG100 because it was stood up by the TIE Echelon. This ship was important in the scale of fleets in Galaxy of Heroes. We here at the Kyber Club found the most important counter for the Executor that changed the game in its entirety, and that was at the First Order TIE Echelon. This is an amazing free-to-play, bang-for-buck powerhouse ship that even on my free-to-play account with the 5-6-star finalizer, I've been able to beat Executors. Next ship on the list was our first Conquest unlock, sort of. I mean, Boba Fett doesn't count because that was 2021, sort of, but it wasn't unlocked earlier this year. But the first Conquest announced and released and acquired in 2022 was the TIE Interceptor, which required the second sister. So we need some context. At first, when the TIE Interceptor came out, fleet meta was very minimal. There was only 2 fleets needed for defense, which means you need 2 on offense. So it was in a weird time where at first it wasn't really apparent why this ship was important, but shortly after they expanded the fleets and granted it to 3 on defense, and that means you need 1 more on defense and at least 1 more on offense. And all of a sudden this became very apparent why it was important. Oh man, you know, let's just put it in amazing. I feel like the reason why I love the Echelon was because it counters the Executor. The TIE Interceptor forms a very good fleet, offense and defense all around of Chimera. And then if you want to beat Profundity, you throw it in the Executrix lineup. Let's do it. Next Inquisitor, we have the 7th Sister, another member that I actually did quite like. I would say probably not as much as 9th Sister, but still definitely viable. Just the healing mechanics are important for any Empire lineup, and of course, very important. Probably one of the more important members to have go early on in the Inquisitor lineup. I'm going to put it in the okay spot. 8th Brother, I'm not even going to bother. Put this guy in the reluctant farm category. Definitely the weakest member of the Inquisitor squad. At the end of the day, when you have the Grand Inquisitor, this one's always left out. The one redeeming factor is it's got high speed. It's an unaligned Force user. You could put it with Lord Vader to have a really fast character, get Maul's Frenzy going. Next ship on the list, we have the Outrider with Dash Rendar. This was a weird ship. I remember reviewing this ship and was like, I don't quite know what the purpose of the ship was. The speculation at the time was there's going to be a new ship coming out for the Rebels, a capital ship that is, and that was Profundity, kind of like what we were sniffing out. In the Profundity lineup, huge deal. Outside the Profundity lineup, not really needed. I'm going to put this in the okay category. Next one, we have 5th Brother. Really, the only thing I liked about this guy was the AoE buff this spell. Just put it in the okay section. I liked it more than 2nd Sister as well as 8th Brother. Not as much as 7th Sister and 9th Sister. Oh man, Shorty in the club, y'all. Man, this one ticks me off. I like this character a lot. I am a big fan of droids. They're a lot of fun. The problem is she's not really needed for anything. For any legendary, any particular event, really. She's got a Conquest Omicron, which even to this day, we're like, what? Man, this is gonna solve a lot of my problems. We're putting Shorty there. I'm gonna move Iden Versio up. Let's just do that. I liked Iden Versio a lot. And then Radice came out, and all of our suspicions about Dash Rendar's Outrider kind of came through. We suspected there was going to be a new ship coming down the road for Profundity, and Radice was the capital ship member. I gotta say, Radice's team for the Rogue One made him better, right? Gave him kind of the Iden Versio. I think it's more of a shorter treatment. Iden Versio is a different level of treatment, I think. I don't think it made a lot of ripples in the game. It's definitely not a reluctant farm. You definitely don't want to pass it. It's needed for Profundity. I'm kind of debating somewhere in between good and okay. You know what? I'll put it in the good category. Oh, man. There he is. The Grand Inquisitor. Oh, gosh. Literally months and months and months of build up and like multiple road ahead saying, hey guys, we're working on Inquisitors. Next road ahead, hey guys, we're working on Inquisitors. And then, hey guys, we're working on Inquisitors. They dragged this Inquisitor thing way too long. Definitely the most boring legendary I've ever had my hands on. I remember this was probably, I was like almost falling asleep playing with this character, and then it became very apparent this character and team was designed around Datacrons. But here's the thing, they're needed for a lot of stuff. For the rise of the Empire, they're needed for multiple galactic challenges, assault battles. It's an important character, not by the nature how good this character is, by simply it being forced upon us. It's got to go in a reluctant farm. Time for the Raven's Claw, kind of another one of those Outrider, what's this ship supposed to be about? But as we kind of suspected when we talked about this ship, I had a feeling this was meant to replace the Millennium Falcon, sort of. Millennium Falcon, as we kind of predicted, was bound to be a part of the Profundity lineup, and that left Akbar's fleet wide open for disappointment. And Raven's Claw tries to do the job. If my records are correct, this was not required for Profundity to unlock. It's not a part of the Profundity lineup because it's got the home one callouts. I'm putting it in the pass category. Oh man, okay. So remember there was like this awkward gap where they released Krrsantan and then we're like, okay, then what? Krrsantan was a wet fart when he came out. A bit of a disappointment. We were really hoping Krrsantan would be a bit more hype. It really wasn't. Krrsantan did get a lot better once Jabba came in, obviously, when like we were talking about in our in-depth review we did for him. Krrsantan is a must-have for Jabba. I don't know if I want to say it's a reluctant farm because it's a really good character once of Jabba. I'm gonna maybe, all right, put it in an okay. I think it makes sense, mainly because Grand Inquisitor is really only good with Datacrons. Krrsantan is good just by the nature of being good when Jabba comes out. Oh, baby. Let me lick my lips because this was tasty. This was, I think, the most hyped Conquest character that we had in 2022. The other ones were not very exciting or inspiring. I'm just gonna throw this in amazing, not gonna keep you guys teased. Let me caveat it though. It's not like a Maul or Commander Sokatano like we talked about in our Conquest units. Ranked video, still very good upgrade for the Sith Empire, and basically takes the Sith Empire as close as possible as you can get to a galactic legend. It's kind of in a general Anakin Skywalker range of viability. Profundity! I'm not gonna waste time, put it in amazing. Downsizes, required Relic 9, broke up the Home 1 fleet. I think it's probably the better offensive fleet in the game. I don't think it's as good on defense. It's the second best defensive fleet, but the Executor I feel like has the edge on defense. And then the rest of the Hutt Cartel faction started coming out. Next we had Skiffguard Lando, which, you know, when I'm thinking of Hutt Cartel Jabba, it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation. Leia and Lando were part of the Hutt team. That's just the way it be. I think Boba Fett should have a bigger role than those guys, but what am I supposed to say? I'm only the king of Triple B here. All right, let's just do this. We're gonna put Lando in okay, Leia in okay. Wait, Leia is the anchor to the Hutt Cartel. So while you're building up the Hutt Cartel to get Jabba, she's gonna make Hutt Cartel as good as they could possibly be beforehand. It's not amazing, but still usable. Jabba the Hutt! Let's just not screw around. He's amazing. Easily top 3 galactic legend when looking just from a PvP performance standpoint. Solid in the Rancor raid. Until recently with Dr. Afra, there was really no non-Datacron, non-Omicron, non-galactic legend counter to Jabba the Hutt. Dr. Afra being the first one, as we're going to talk about. And on top of that, this guy, besides as being inherently important just because of how good they are, the Rise of the Empire, as well as the really important Smuggler's Run, getting a lot of great mod material. This guy, I'll say this, he surpassed my expectations. I feel like you can't progress into the end game without Jabba. And we have Hondo. Hondo! It's cool seeing Hondo finally come to Galaxers. I said this before, I'm a bit let down. When I imagine Hondo, I imagine him having his own team with pirates or whatever. They didn't have a leader ability. Very let down on that regard. I think it's pretty apparent it's the weakest requirement out of the Dr. Afra requirements, but you can do funny things with him. For me personally, in Territory Wars, Grand Arena, not a very important character, not listing a lot of people use him in Kyber 1. I have seen some funny stuff at lower divisions against like maybe poorly modded teams, poorly geared teams. Hondo can do some really funny stuff. I hate to say it, I feel like Hondo is a cute character. He's a meme character. You know, he's kind of a reluctant farm. He is needed for Rise of the Empire. Otherwise, it hasn't felt like a very important character, and I wish it was a more important role. Taking a brief break from the Dr. Afra requirements, we have Ben Solo. Literally meant to just make Rey more annoying. Galactic Legends Rey. Having to get through Ben before you get through Rey, but you got to get through Rey to 50% before you get to Ben. It's an annoying puzzle to deal with. Wasn't the most exciting character. The polygons and animations were a bit blah. It just served a puzzle function, and I'm going to put it in the good section here. It's a good character. Makes Rey a little bit more annoying, and makes Rey a bit more competitive up against Master Kenobi, and that's saying something. BT and Trip, we got to put them together as a pair because they kind of are needed hand in hand. Not just before Dr. Afra, but once you get Dr. Afra, you need those two to get that 100% turn meter boost. BT is good. Even before Dr. Afra, it's a new Dark Trooper. High basic damage, high AoE damage, loads of fun that you can use with Shorty. And then you got Trip, who's fast. They can get that opening assist on BT very quickly, applies torture. All right, guess you ran out of batteries, so we gotta do this the old-fashioned way. The problem I have at this point with these requirements is that the characters that were coming out weren't like Starkiller, where they were supercharging a particular faction. Hondo is just Hondo. The droids at the time were just nice addition to the Shorty crew. Isana Staros, though. Wow, what a character. Kind of reminiscent of what I like, a character that revitalizes or brings up a faction that never existed. Sana Staros being one of the very few polls where we got 330 shards, so really cool. And it happens to be that she brings up this leftover rebel team with Rebel Officer Leia Organa, Stormtrooper Han, Captain Han Solo. And if you put Cara Dune in there, wow, the turn meter control is insane on this team. A very Iden Versio reminiscent is the best way to put it. And then we wrapped up the year with Dr. Afra, the second legacy character to come to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Not as much hype in the community compared to Starkiller. Not as many people read the comic books compared to video games or movies or TV shows. I have a weird suspicion Dr. Afra is probably going to show up in live action at some point, and people are going to have a lot more appreciation for the character itself. I think she's a better character than Starkiller. She's useful outside of Grander with no Omicrons turned on. Unlike Starkiller, who has to do all the heavy lifting on his team, Dr. Afra is literally just a support character, and the characters you bring in are going to do all the heavy lifting, and she brings Darth Vader back to a top-tier Galactic Legend Slayer level without Datacrons and Omicrons. Easily amazing. Forgetting about Jabba for a second, this is by far my favorite team in 2022 with Dr. Afra. Loads of fun, I promise you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be what I believe to be all the new characters and ships ranked in 2022 for Galaxy Heroes. I'm really curious to see what 2023, just around the corner, is going to look like for Galaxy Heroes. If the leaks and rumors are true, it seems like we're going to have a few exciting things in 2023. And Scythe is going to be the first thing we're going to unlock in 2022 in a few weeks here. So let's hope we start the new year off on a pretty solid note. Thank you for stopping by. Leave that like, comment down below. Subscribe to our ever-growing empire. And always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today.